My friends, hear this truth with the full power of your mind and soul. The greatest force in the universe is not somewhere above the clouds. It is already alive inside you. The same intelligence that created the galaxies, the same power that breathes life into every cell of your body, is working within you at this very moment. You are not weak, you are not limited, you are not separated from the divine. You are the living expression of God's presence, and the moment you recognize this, your entire life begins to shift. Every problem, every fear, every obstacle loses its power the instant you awaken to the infinite power within your subconscious mind. This inner presence is not sleeping, it is waiting, waiting for your agreement, waiting for your recognition, waiting for your command. When you speak with faith, this power moves. When you imagine with conviction, this power creates. When you align with divine truth, this power opens doors no man can shut. Today, I invite you to step into a higher reality, a reality where you stop begging for power and start using the power you already possess. A reality where miracles become normal, where intuition becomes guidance, where your mind becomes a channel of divine intelligence. The divine presence within you is ready. It is ready to heal, ready to guide, ready to transform your entire life. Awaken now. Claim it now. For God's power is not approaching, it is already inside you, waiting for your command. The divine presence lives within your subconscious mind, quietly shaping every experience, guiding every step, and responding faithfully to every thought you impress upon it. Most people search outside themselves for strength, wisdom, or answers, believing that the power to change their life exists somewhere far away, somewhere beyond reach. Yet the truth is astonishingly simple and profoundly liberating. The power you seek has been with you from the beginning. It is not dormant, not distant, not hidden in some unreachable realm. It lives within you as the very essence of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is far more than a storehouse of memories, emotions, or learned behaviors. It is the individualized expression of the divine presence itself. It operates with precision, responds to belief with absolute fidelity, and mirrors back into your life whatever patterns you consistently hold in thought and emotion. When Joseph Murphy spoke about the subconscious mind, he was not merely referring to psychology, he was pointing to the spiritual core of human existence. He taught that the subconscious is the link between your conscious mind and the infinite intelligence that created all things. It is the inner sanctuary where divine ideas are received, processed, and expressed into form. This divine presence within your subconscious never stops working. It does not sleep, it does not judge, and it never abandons its creative function. It is always responding to you. Every idea you dwell upon, whether in fear or in faith, becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of this inner power. The subconscious takes these seeds and brings them to life with exact precision through circumstances, events, relationships, and outcomes. It does not reason the way the conscious mind does. It accepts your mental impressions as truth and moves heaven and earth to express them. When you understand that this divine presence is within you, everything changes. You stop feeling like a helpless observer of life and begin to realize that you are its co-creator. You discover that your thoughts are never just thoughts, they are commands. They are instructions sent to the creative machinery of your subconscious. You begin to approach life differently because you know the real power to change anything begins within your own mind. The divine presence within your subconscious mind is also deeply intelligent. It knows the perfect solution to every difficulty, the perfect path through every challenge, and the perfect answer to every question. Even when you consciously feel unsure or afraid, this deeper intelligence remains calm, complete, and absolutely certain. It remembers your wholeness even when you forget it. It sees possibilities you cannot yet perceive. It guides you through intuition, sudden insight, inspired ideas, and inner nudges that seem to come from nowhere. But they come from your divine center. Many people block this inner guidance because they drown it out with worry, doubt, and fear. These negative states cloud the conscious mind, making it difficult to sense the quiet whisper of the divine within. But the moment you calm your thoughts, quiet your emotions, and turn inward with trust, the subconscious reveals its wisdom. An answer comes, a direction becomes clear, a solution rises to the surface, often in ways that feel effortless or miraculous. This inner presence is also a source of healing. It regulates your body, renews your cells, and governs all vital functions. When you impress the subconscious mind with divine ideas of health, harmony, and vitality, it responds by restoring balance and strength. Countless people throughout history have experienced profound transformation simply by aligning their thoughts with the truth that the divine presence within them is the source of all life and healing. To awaken this inner power, you do not need rituals, complicated practices, or external ceremonies. You simply need to acknowledge it, trust it, and work with it consciously. When you affirm that the divine presence lives within your subconscious mind, you are reminding yourself of your true nature. When you visualize the life you desire and feel it as already real, you are directing the creative force of your subconscious toward your highest good. When you meditate, pray, or practice gratitude, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency of the divine. The more you recognize this truth, the more your life begins to reflect it. You feel more centered, more intuitive, more confident. Problems that once overwhelmed you now seem manageable. Opportunities begin to appear at the right time. You attract people and situations that align with your new inner state. This is not chance or coincidence. It is the divine presence within you responding to your renewed awareness. To know that the divine presence lives within your subconscious mind is to understand that you are never alone, never powerless, never without guidance. You carry within you the same creative intelligence that formed the universe, and it is always ready to support and elevate your life the moment you turn inward and acknowledge its presence. This realization is the foundation of true transformation. It is the moment you stop searching outside and awaken to the extraordinary power already within you. Your thoughts activate the creative power of God, and this truth is one of the most profound principles you can ever embrace. Every idea you hold, every image you cultivate, every belief you nurture becomes a signal sent directly into the spiritual machinery of the universe. Thoughts are not empty, fleeting sensations. They are living forces. They carry vibration, intention, and direction. They impress themselves upon the subconscious mind, which is the gateway to the infinite intelligence that governs all creation. When you begin to understand that your thoughts are not passive but creative, you gain access to a level of personal power that most people never realize they possess. Every moment of your life is shaped by the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. Whether you think in harmony with fear or faith, limitation or possibility, the creative power of God responds accordingly. This power does not judge whether a thought is helpful or harmful, positive or negative. It simply obeys the image and emotion you feed it. It is like a divine engine that accepts the pattern you provide and produces a result that matches it with absolute precision. When you think thoughts of abundance, you activate the creative force of abundance. When you think thoughts of healing, you activate the creative force of health. When you think thoughts of failure or doubt, you unintentionally activate the creative force of struggle. Your thoughts, especially those you hold with feeling and repetition, become blueprints for the subconscious mind. Joseph Murphy often emphasized that the subconscious is deeply impressionable. It responds not to what you casually think for a moment, but to what you emotionally believe. When a thought becomes your inner conviction, it becomes a command. It becomes an instruction that the deep creative power within you must fulfill. This is why it is so important to monitor the quality of your thoughts, because they are constantly setting in motion spiritual and psychological forces that shape your destiny. When you think constructively, when you imagine the life you desire with gratitude and confidence, you are aligning with divine law. You are cooperating with the creative intelligence that designed the universe. You are allowing God's power to express itself through you in the form of good. But when you think destructively, when you mentally rehearse failure, rehearse fear, rehearse disappointment, you activate the same divine power in the opposite direction. You misuse the creative force, not because God punishes, but because universal law responds with perfect neutrality to the images impressed upon it. This is why awareness is so important. Many people move through life unconscious of the thoughts they are repeating day after day. They dwell on what they fear, complain about what they lack, and replay past mistakes without realizing that these mental habits are shaping their present and future. They pray for success while imagining failure. They ask for healing while dwelling on illness. They desire love while believing they are unworthy. The creative power of God responds not to their words, but to their dominant thoughts. Prayer without mental alignment is ineffective because it lacks the vibration that activates divine force. The moment you begin to consciously choose your thoughts, everything changes. You realize you are not a victim of circumstance, but a creator of it. You recognize that the images you consistently hold in mind begin to appear in your outer world. You understand that intuition, opportunity, and inspiration flow more freely when your mind is aligned with truth rather than fear. You begin to see that life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. To activate the creative power of God in the most constructive way, you must think deliberately. You must choose thoughts that reflect your highest good. This does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending difficulties do not exist. It means choosing to focus your mental energy on solutions, possibilities, and the divine guidance always available to you. It means imagining yourself as already successful, already healed, already guided, already blessed. It means allowing your mind to become a channel through which God's creative power flows freely and clearly, without interference from doubt or negativity. As you train your mind to think in harmony with divine truth, you will notice profound changes. You will feel more peaceful because your thoughts are aligned with the nature of the divine. You will feel stronger because you are no longer fighting against yourself. You will feel more hopeful because you recognize that nothing is impossible when your mind is united with the infinite. And you will begin to see evidence in your outer world doors opening, ideas flowing, people appearing at the right moment, circumstances shifting in your favor. This is not magic. It is the natural result of using your God-given creative faculty as it was designed to be used. Your thoughts are the tools through which divine power works. When you choose them consciously, lovingly, and faithfully, you activate the unlimited potential of God within you. And when that power begins to move in your life, nothing can stand against it. Faith is the switch that turns on inner miracles, and this truth is at the heart of every spiritual transformation, every answered prayer, and every breakthrough in human experience. Faith is not merely belief. It is the deep, unwavering conviction that the invisible is more real than the visible, that the unseen power within you is greater than any external circumstance. It is the mental and emotional certainty that the divine presence is working on your behalf, even when there is no physical evidence to support it. Faith is the inner yes that opens the doors of possibility, activating the limitless potential that resides within your subconscious mind. When you have faith, you are not wishing, hoping, or trying to convince yourself. You are aligning with spiritual law. You are choosing to believe in the outcome you desire with such clarity and such conviction that your subconscious mind accepts it as true. Once it accepts it, it begins to work tirelessly, silently, and powerfully to bring that reality forth. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the mental force that transforms ideas into experiences, thoughts into form, and intentions into results. Many people misunderstand faith. They think it is something emotional, something they must feel intensely, or something they must force into existence. But true faith is quiet, it is calm. It is the simple, serene knowing that what you seek is already yours. It is the decision to trust the divine presence within you rather than the circumstances around you. Faith is an inner posture, not an outer struggle. It is not loud or dramatic. It is steady and sure. Faith works because it bypasses doubt. When you hold a belief with unwavering faith, your subconscious mind cannot reject it. Doubt cannot coexist with true faith, fear cannot override it, negative conditions cannot diminish it. The subconscious accepts faith-filled thoughts as commands, and then uses the creative power of God to manifest them. This is why Jesus said, "According to your faith be it unto you," not according to your wishes, not according to your fears, but according to your faith, your deep inner conviction. When you activate faith, you activate the miraculous mechanism of the universe. You allow divine intelligence to guide you, divine order to unfold for you, and divine power to work through you. You begin to experience synchronicities, those meaningful events that seem to occur at just the right time. You start receiving ideas that lead to solutions, opportunities that align perfectly with your needs, and people who appear seemingly out of nowhere to assist your progress. These are not coincidences. They are the natural outcome of faith in motion. Faith also transforms your emotional state. When you know that the power of God is on your side, fear loses its grip, anxiety fades, worry becomes unnecessary. You begin to walk through life with inner assurance, knowing that everything you need is already available within you. Faith creates peace because it anchors your mind in divine truth rather than temporary appearances. It brings stability because it roots you in the infinite rather than the changing circumstances of the world. Faith is not blind. It is the highest form of clarity. It sees beyond the surface of things. It sees with the inner eye, recognizing that spiritual law is always at work, always consistent, always creative. When you hold faith in a desired condition, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. You may not see immediate growth, but beneath the surface, life is already moving, roots are forming, patterns are shifting, circumstances are aligning. The manifestation will appear in divine timing when the inner and outer conditions are ready. Faith requires consistency. You cannot affirm one moment and doubt the next. You cannot believe in good today and fear tomorrow. You must sustain your mental image with persistence and emotional confidence. This is why faith is powerful. It endures. It holds to truth even when appearances contradict it. It trusts the process even when the path is unclear. The person with faith does not give up because they know that the moment they believe, the miracle begins. When you cultivate faith, true, deep, unwavering faith, you awaken a force within you that cannot be stopped. You become aligned with the creative power that shapes worlds. You become receptive to divine guidance. You become a magnet for good. Faith is not just the switch that turns on miracles. It is the power that sustains them, multiplies them, and transforms your entire life. You manifest what you emotionally believe, and this single truth determines the entire direction of your life. It is not your wishes, your hopes, or your passing thoughts that shape your reality. It is the beliefs that you feel deeply, the convictions that live in your subconscious mind, and the emotional patterns you return to again and again. These emotional beliefs are the instructions you give to the creative power within you, and they form the blueprint that your subconscious uses to shape your experience. You may think you want success, love, or abundance, but if your emotional belief is rooted in fear, unworthiness, or limitation, the subconscious will manifest that belief with unwavering loyalty. It responds not to what you want, but to what you truly feel. Your emotions are the language of the subconscious mind. When you feel something intensely, whether joy or fear, confidence or doubt, you imprint that feeling onto the deeper levels of your consciousness. This is why Joseph Murphy emphasized that the subconscious mind accepts the dominant feeling. If you consciously desire prosperity but emotionally feel lack, the feeling of lack becomes the creative force. If you consciously affirm healing but emotionally feel fear, the fear becomes the creative pattern. The subconscious always chooses the stronger emotion because emotion is energy and energy directs creation. To understand how powerful emotional belief is, consider how quickly your body responds to it. When you feel afraid, your heart races. When you feel joy, your entire being lightens. When you feel ashamed, your posture closes. These physical reactions are proofs of how deeply emotion influences your inner mechanisms. That same influence extends to your experiences, your opportunities, and the conditions of your life. Emotion is not just something you feel internally. It is a vibrational instruction to the universe. This is why two people with the same goals can experience completely different outcomes. It is not the goal that matters. It is the emotional belief behind the goal. One person may say, "I want success," but internally they carry guilt, self-doubt, or unworthiness. Their emotional belief blocks the very thing they desire. Another person says the same words but feels deserving, confident, aligned, and at peace with the idea of abundance. Their subconscious mind receives a clear, consistent message, and the universe responds accordingly. Your emotional beliefs act like a magnet. They attract conditions that match their frequency. If you emotionally believe that life is difficult, you will encounter difficulty. If you emotionally believe that people cannot be trusted, you will meet people who confirm that belief. If you emotionally believe that opportunities always come to you, life will keep delivering them again and again. Your subconscious cannot contradict your emotional truth. It can only express it. This is why transformation begins not with forcing your thoughts, but with changing the emotional foundation beneath them. You cannot think your way into a new life while holding onto old emotions. You cannot speak affirmations while feeling the opposite. The subconscious mind is not moved by empty words. It is moved by the emotional intensity behind those words. When you feel the truth of what you want, when you emotionally accept it as already accomplished, your subconscious begins to rearrange circumstances, guide your steps, and attract the conditions necessary for its manifestation. Changing emotional beliefs requires awareness. You must notice the emotions that arise when you imagine your desire. Do you feel excitement or fear, confidence or doubt, openness or resistance? These emotions reveal your true inner belief. If negative emotions arise, they are not a sign that you cannot manifest. They are simply signals showing where healing is needed. The moment you begin replacing these emotions with new feeling, tones, gratitude, certainty, joy, worthiness, your subconscious starts to shift. Visualization becomes incredibly powerful when emotional belief is involved. It is not the mental picture alone that manifests. It is the emotional response to that picture. When you visualize with feeling, when you allow your imagination to make you feel as though your desire is already real, you impress that emotional belief onto your subconscious. Over time, repetition of emotionally charged visualization begins to override old beliefs and replace them with new ones. Prayer, affirmation, and meditation also work because they shift emotional states. When you speak words of truth with sincerity, when you meditate on inner peace, or when you pray with trust, you are gradually reconditioning your emotional body. You are teaching your subconscious a new pattern to follow. As your emotional beliefs change, your life will begin reflecting those changes. You manifest what you emotionally believe because emotional belief is the deepest, most powerful form of acceptance. It is the point where your conscious desire and your subconscious agreement become one. When your emotions align with your intentions, the universe aligns with you. Everything begins moving toward you with ease, opportunities appear, solutions emerge, guidance becomes clearer. Your outer world shifts to match your inner conviction. This is why mastering your emotional life is the key to mastering your destiny. When you choose emotions that reflect your highest vision, faith, joy, confidence, gratitude, you activate the creative forces of the universe in your favor. You begin living not according to fear, but according to divine truth. And the moment your emotional belief aligns with your desired reality, manifestation becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Aligning with divine truth dissolves fear and limitation, because fear cannot survive in the presence of higher understanding. Fear is not a natural part of your spiritual identity. It is a product of misunderstanding, of forgetting who you really are and what power lives within you. When you align your mind with the truth of your divine nature, when you remember that infinite intelligence supports you, fear loses its foundation. Limitation disappears because limitation exists only when you identify with the small, the temporary, the surface level self rather than the divine self within you. The moment you shift your awareness from the outer world to the inner divine reality, you awaken a power that dissolves every false belief that ever held you back. Fear thrives on illusion. It feeds on the belief that you are alone, powerless, unsupported, or separate from the source of all creation. But divine truth reveals the opposite. You are eternally connected to a limitless power. You are guided by a presence that knows your needs before you speak them. You are upheld by a wisdom that sees beyond obstacles, problems, and appearances. When you align with this truth, fear cannot remain, because fear depends on ignorance. It depends on forgetting that God lives within you. The moment you remember, the illusion breaks. Divine truth is expansive, whereas fear contracts. Divine truth opens, whereas fear closes. Divine truth liberates, whereas fear restricts. When your mind is aligned with truth, you feel spaciousness, clarity, strength, and inner confidence. You begin to see life not as a threat, but as a field of infinite possibility. You recognize that obstacles are temporary shadows, not permanent barriers. You understand that every challenge carries within it the seeds of wisdom and growth. This shift in perception is powerful enough to dissolve the emotional, mental, and spiritual roots of fear. Limitation also dissolves when you align with divine truth, because limitation is a mental construct, not a spiritual reality. The only limitations that exist in your life are the ones accepted by your subconscious mind. When you believe you are small, your life reflects smallness. When you believe you are weak, your experiences match that belief. But when you embrace divine truth, when you remember that you are a channel of infinite intelligence, your subconscious begins to operate from a higher pattern. It no longer creates from restriction. It creates from abundance, clarity, and divine possibility. Divine truth reveals that you are not a victim of external conditions. You are not bound by past mistakes, old patterns, or the opinions of others. You are not limited by your upbringing, your environment, or previous failures. These are temporary conditions, and conditions change. Divine truth is the only constant, and that truth is that you are spiritually limitless. When you accept this truth, when you emotionally and mentally identify with it, you break the chains that once held you back. You stop seeing yourself through the lens of the past and begin seeing yourself as the divine being you truly are. Fear begins to melt away the moment you choose truth over appearances. For example, when a fearful thought arises, "What if I fail? What if I am not enough?" Divine truth responds, "You are guided, you are supported, you are created in the image of infinite intelligence. Nothing can stand against the power within you." When a limiting belief appears, "I can't do this, I don't have what it takes," divine truth says, "All things are possible. The wisdom you need is within you. The power you seek is already yours." This inner dialogue shifts your emotional state, and when your emotions shift, your subconscious follows, creating new outcomes in your life. Aligning with divine truth also connects you to a sense of peace that fear cannot penetrate. Fear creates turmoil, restlessness, and mental noise. Divine truth creates inner stillness, clarity, and confidence. In this stillness you receive guidance, ideas come, solutions appear, intuition strengthens. You realize that the answers you seek are not outside but within. This inner connection becomes a shield against fear. It becomes the foundation from which you make decisions, take action, and create your future. As you practice aligning with divine truth, you begin to see its effects everywhere. Relationships become healthier because you no longer operate from insecurity. Opportunities increase because you no longer believe you are limited. Challenges shrink because you face them with divine strength rather than human fear. Your mind becomes clearer, your emotions calmer, and your inner life more centered and powerful. You begin walking through life with a quiet, unshakable confidence that no external circumstance can disturb. The reason divine truth dissolves fear and limitation is simple. Truth is reality, and fear is not. Fear is a shadow, limitation is a belief. Divine truth is the light that dispels both. When you turn toward that light, when you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with the infinite nature of your being, you rise above every obstacle. You step into the fullness of who you truly are, and in that awareness, nothing can hold you back. You are a channel of infinite intelligence and power, and this truth is the foundation of your spiritual identity. Within you flows the same creative energy that formed galaxies, shaped mountains, and orchestrated the intricate harmony of life. This infinite intelligence is not separate from you, not distant, not reserved for a chosen few. It expresses itself through you as your insight, intuition, creativity, strength, and inner knowing. You are not merely a passive observer in a divine universe. You are a living instrument through which the divine mind works. Your thoughts become avenues for inspiration. Your imagination becomes a canvas for creation. Your very being becomes a conduit for God's limitless power to move into expression. Most people live unaware of this truth. They look at themselves through the lens of limitation, believing they are small, insignificant, or powerless. They judge themselves by their past mistakes, their external circumstances, or the opinions of others. But these surface-level identities are illusions. The deeper truth, your true identity, is that you are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. You are not separate from your source, you are an extension of it. Just as a wave is not separate from the ocean, you are not separate from God. The divine power flows in you, around you, through you, and as you, whether you recognize it or not. When you become aware that you are a channel of this infinite force, your entire life begins to change. You start seeing yourself not as a person struggling to reach God, but as a vessel through which God is expressing. You realize that the ideas that come to you, the visions that inspire you, the impulses that guide you, are not random. They are divine signals. Infinite intelligence communicates through your intuition, through sudden clarity, through inner confidence that arises for no logical reason. These inner movements are the voice of the divine speaking through your consciousness. The more you trust this inner guidance, the more clearly it flows. Infinite intelligence does not shout, it guides gently, it nudges, it whispers, it reveals. Fear, doubt, and overthinking block this flow, but faith, stillness, and openness amplify it. When you quiet your mind, you hear the divine direction. When you focus your intentions, you direct divine energy. When you elevate your emotions, you harmonize with divine frequency. In this alignment, your life becomes guided not by confusion, but by clarity, not by chance, but by purpose. As a channel of infinite intelligence, you also possess immense creative power. The ideas you hold, the images you nurture, and the beliefs you accept shape the world around you. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are an architect of them. Divine power moves through the blueprint of your mind. When your thoughts are aligned with truth, love, abundance, and possibility, the infinite expresses those qualities through your experiences. This is why Joseph Murphy emphasized the creative power of the subconscious mind, because it is the doorway through which divine intelligence manifests into form. To channel this power consciously, you must realize that you are worthy of it. Many people block divine flow because they feel unworthy, guilty, or inadequate. But infinite intelligence does not choose based on worthiness. It flows through you simply because you exist. You were created as a channel. You are designed for divine expression. The question is not whether the power is available. The question is whether you allow yourself to receive and express it. Worthiness is not earned. It is inherent. When you embrace this truth, limitations begin to dissolve. You stop feeling small. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop shrinking to fit into roles that were never meant for you. Instead, you rise into the awareness that you are connected to an inexhaustible source. You walk with confidence because you know a higher wisdom guides your steps. You make decisions with clarity because you trust the inner voice of intuition. You pursue visions boldly because you know they were placed within you by the infinite itself. Being a channel of infinite intelligence also means you have access to solutions beyond your logical mind. When a challenge arises, you do not rely solely on your human reasoning. You open yourself to divine insight. Answers come unexpectedly, opportunities appear at the right moment, resources flow into your life precisely when needed. This is not coincidence, it is divine orchestration working through your openness. You also influence others simply by embodying this awareness. Your presence becomes uplifting, your words carry power, your energy brings peace to those around you. People sense something different about you, not because you are superior, but because you are aligned with a higher frequency of consciousness. This alignment radiates outward, affecting others in ways you may never fully realize. To fully step into the role of a channel for infinite intelligence, you must consistently remind yourself of the truth of your being. You must affirm it, feel it, meditate on it, and live from it. The more you dwell on this divine reality, the more clearly the power flows. The more you trust it, the more miracles unfold. The more you embrace it, the more your life becomes a reflection of divine purpose. You are a channel of infinite intelligence and power, not someday, not conditionally, but now. This power is alive within you in every moment. The more you awaken to it, the more extraordinary your life becomes. Through you, God creates, expresses, and transforms. Through you, divine wisdom flows into the world. Through you, the impossible becomes possible. As we reach the close of this journey, remember that everything you seek, everything you pray for, and everything you desire already exists in the invisible realm of your own consciousness. You are not separate from God, nor is God distant, hidden, or withholding anything from you. The infinite presence that created the stars, the oceans, the mountains, and the very breath in your lungs is the same presence that lives within you now, quiet, patient, waiting for your recognition. When you understand this truth, you stop searching outside yourself for strength, answers, or direction, because you discover the wellspring of power that has been flowing inside you since the moment you were born. You have learned that the subconscious mind is the gateway to divine expression, that your thoughts are creative forces shaping your reality, that faith is the invisible power that turns possibility into experience, and that your emotional beliefs determine what unfolds in your life. You have also discovered that fear dissolves in the light of truth, and that infinite intelligence works through you the moment you align with its harmony. And finally, you have awakened to the profound realization that you are a living channel of divine power, an instrument through which God's love, wisdom, peace, and abundance can pour into the world. This entire message brings you to one central truth. You are not powerless, you are not small, and you are not limited. You are the expression of God in action. When you think correctly, when you speak with conviction, when you believe with your whole heart, the creative power of the universe responds, supports, guides, and unfolds miracles before you. Your life becomes a reflection of the divine nature within you. Every moment becomes an opportunity to choose faith over fear, clarity over confusion, abundance over lack, peace over turmoil, and love over resentment. You carry within you the sacred ability to transform your life, not by force, not by struggle, but by aligning your inner world with the truth of who you really are. When you claim this truth, when you feel it, when you live from it, your world changes because your consciousness changes. And the world you experience is always the mirror of the consciousness you hold. So as you step forward from this moment, do not forget that you walk with God, and God walks in you. Do not forget that every idea of good you desire, health, success, love, harmony, creativity, purpose, already exists in the divine mind and is seeking expression through you. Do not forget that miracles are not events reserved for the chosen few. Miracles are the natural result of aligning your mind with the infinite presence that created you. Let this truth live in your heart. The power of God is already inside you. You do not need to ask for it. You need only awaken to it. You need only claim it, accept it, and trust it. And as this awareness grows, your life will become a testimony of what happens when a person remembers their divine origin and steps boldly into the infinite potential of their own spirit.